During the pandemic, lenders like community banks have been called economic first responders because they make capital continue to be available to small businesses that really need them, which is extremely important for the rest of the economy. So that's our motivation for understanding the lending landscape for community banks, both during the pandemic and kind of looking ahead into the future when all of this is done. So first, I want to take a look at a survey by a company called Enigma titled The State of Small Business Lending. This was done back in June, really close to about the 3-month mark of the epidemic, when things are not entirely clear how they're going to shape up. The first question to lenders was, do you expect small business lending to increase, to decrease, or stay about the same? So here we have about 23% of the respondents describing that they expect to increase lending to small businesses. And then about 33% of the responders say they're going to maintain their lending volume. And then finally, a total of 43% say, somewhere between moderately reducing to completely stopping lending. So overall, I think you can say the overall net impact is reduced lending. But for us, it was surprising that there were some lenders that were actually increasing the lending volume during the epidemic. So next up, we have another survey that periodically looks at lending environments. It was interesting to read the survey results. And here, one question that's most interesting to me, and I want to hear your thoughts on, is looking at Q4, do you expect your loan portfolio to improve, stabilize, or decline when compared with Q3? The survey I'm talking about is from a consulting and advisory company called Phoenix Management, with a survey called Lending Climate in America. They've been doing quarterly surveys of lenders every single quarter for the last 7 years, so they're able to track the outlook from lenders over time, assuming everything stays stable. So in other words, no major increases in cases and no vaccines. So this was the question I asked you guys earlier. So in general, lenders are still slightly pessimistic. So about 32% of lenders expect a decline compared to 24% think there's going to be an improvement during Q4. This is another chart that's updated quarterly, and for Q2 of 2020, the delinquency rate for credit card was 2.24%, which is significantly lower than previous quarter. There were several recent studies showing exactly the same behavior for various consumer loan portfolios, and also attempted to explain why, because it's not really intuitive. One explanation is that the stimulus payments really help consumers save up extra cushion, and that reduces the spending. And then another explanation is that consumers, when they're stuck in lockdown, they're sitting at home and they're not really out partying, they're not out traveling. So this allows them to save a lot more money than usual. Well, regardless of what exactly happened, the improvement of delinquency rates for consumers is really most likely due to a reduction of spending, and regardless of what you believe, that's really bad news for small businesses.